those marks, because you've just said that there are marks, of course, that you could find on the scene bullets, which would be normally on the grooves. Now, that groove on which the marks are appearing, would that not be a same relative area? Oh,
ngasithi uyihlolile wathola ukuthi kukhona umsele la uthola kunemakhi khona uzobe ingekho yini endaweni ecishe ifane.
If I compare the two bullets, then I identify the groove that matches.
Yes.
Then that groove will be my first groove. Then when I start looking at the markings, the individual markings on that one, I'll start matching them. Then I'll go to the next groove, of which will be the same relative position on both items, moving to the next groove. You can look into that when you see the whole groove. If you can see, you don't want to see the whole groove, you can just magnify it, make the marks a little bit bigger. You can count that. No, if you see the whole groove, you can count all your striations on those things.
Manje-ke uma ngibheka inhlamvu ngeke ngibone ukuthi ukhona umsele engizothi uma ngiwubhekile ngibone ukuthi lo ngiyawubona kahle lo msele ukuthi unjani bese ngiyabheka ukuthi kukhona yini impawu ezitholakala kulowo msele and then-ke uma sengiqhathanisa-ke nale enye-ke inhlamvu ngizofuna-ke umsele ofana naloya msele lo ngale bese ngiyabona ukuthi cha yiyo le ndawo engathi iy'ndawo ezifana nayo uma sengiqhubekela phambili ngizofuna iy'ndawo ezinjalo ezicishe ezifanayo.
thank you, sir. Now, your understanding of the concept same relative area would mean you can find certain marks on a particular groove, and then you can go to, and then you twist the exhibit, and then you find certain marks there as well. That it means now on two different groups you find marks which are similar. That is now your understanding of the concept same relative area.
Manje usho ukuthi-ke uma usuke wathola imark ethize mhlawumbe uphawu oluthize komunye-ke wemsele le etholakala lapha kuleya nhlamvu and then usuyiguqula-ke leyo nhlamvu uthole ukuthi-ke uthola omunye umsele onolunye uphawu usho ukuthi enye-ke indawo engathiwa yi-same relative position usho ukuthi indawo efana nayo leyo.
That's correct, Malo.
Yebo unjalo.
So you go to a third groove, you go to a fourth groove, you find certain markings there on both exhibits, that are test bullets and your scene bullets, and you find certain markings which are similar. According to you, that will also constitute same relative area. That is the first groove, the second groove, the third groove, the fourth groove. According to you, that would still constitute same relative area.
Manje musubheka kumsele wesibili wesithathu wesine wesihlanu bese uthola ukuthi kukhona iy'mpawu ezikhona lapho endaweni efanayo yiloko ozokubiza ngokuthi same relative area.
That's correct, Malo.
That's correct. Kunjani?
You attended this training offered by Bruce Moran and John Murdoch in 2002. Is that what you got from that?
Manje ufunde lapha lesifundo sethula uBruce Moran no-John Murdoch ngo-2002 ikona lokho wakufunda lapha.
That's correct, Malo.
Yebo unjalo.
Sir, with due respect and the greatest respect that I have for the experts, I'm going to put it to you that you had it all wrong.
Ngokuhlonipha okukhulu-ke ngifisa ukutshela ukuthi cha ingathi wenza iphutha.
That is going to be demonstrated when and as and when the matter progresses, that you had it all wrong.
Hayi kuzocaca uma silokuqhubeka ngalolu daba ukuthi cha wenze iphutha.
Thank you. Let's proceed. CMS, consecutive machine striations.
Sorry to interrupt, Counsel. It has been put to the witness that it will be demonstrated that he's got it all wrong without really laying the basis, my lord. Can we just inquire what is the basis for that proposition?
Yes, Mr. Mnisi.
I do not understand the basis of the objection, my lord. I'm requested to lay the basis, but I also don't understand the basis of the objection.
No, I said-
May the state please explain himself. What does he mean? That what is the basis of that objection?
No, but logically, that's how I understand the question. Logically, this expert witness must be told what the correct position is because he has got it all wrong. He must be told. Mr. Baloi, is that what you...
Yes, indeed, that is the basis of the
Yeah.
objection.
I've
If you
just,
don't want to tell him or her, or you don't think it's necessary, you're at liberty not to.
I've just indicated, my lord, that as the trial progresses,
Okay,
that is
fine.
going to be demonstrated that he got it all wrong.
All right,
Exactly. So I don't understand the basis of the objection.
all right.
Thank you. CMS, the consecutive matching trial. What do you understand with the term consecutive?
Manje-ke masikhuluma ngaleli gama leli esetshenziswa lapha ku-CMS consecutive matching style. Leli gama ke elithi consecutive. Yini-ke oluzwisisayo ukuthi
Let me put it this way. It could be a very broad term. I'm referring to it when it is used within a ballistic context.
cha leli gama leli ngifuna ukuthi ngizwisisise kahle ukuthi la uma sikhuluma ngaloku kuhlola iy'nhlamvu ku-ballistic lisetshenziswa kanjani leli term elithi consecutive.
My lord, I'll simplify it as continuous matching trials only.
Hayi ngalichaza ngokuthi consecutive matching style.
Continuous matching strike.
Asho uthi chaza ukuthi ke ngathi imigqa engathi iyafanana enokulandelana.
Continuous matching strike. It's consecutive. Continuous. Thank you. Now, we are going to go into the chart that we prepared in order to simplify this whole process of continuous, as you're saying, and
You can say
consecutive,
continuous
as
or
I'm saying.
sequence of matching trials.
Excuse me?
Continuous or sequence of matching trials.
Sequence of matching strike.
Hayi singakhuluma ke ngemigqa elandelanayo efananayo.
Thank you. Now, I think if you go to the chart that we have prepared, because if you're speaking continuous, the sequence of matching strike, to a person who does not understand this concept, they will just be wandering in the wilderness. Let us simplify it by specifically referring to the chart that we have prepared. Thank you. Now, I'm going to request that we go to Exhibit 13E6. If it can be built for us, please. The reason why I prepared Exhibit 13E6 is because we have already marked them. Those are the ones that were made available to us yesterday morning. If it can be enlarged, please. Thank you. Now, is it correct that this is similar to Exhibit 13E1?
That's correct.
Thank you. Just a second. Oh yeah. Thank you. Now I'm not so sure whether as we do this exercise you're going to move from the witness box and just get nearer to the screen there, or what methodology we're going to use. Maybe the state can assist in that regard. Remember, we're here at the invitation of the state. State is a administrative. So I'm just wondering if the state will be in a position to assist. Because I'm avoiding a situation where we say, you see there, you see there, you see there, you see there, there, below, there, below, there. No, it won't work. Science is the art of precision and accuracy. We are going to be very accurate. I'm not so sure, my lord, whether this witness is going to get to the board today as he's trying to demonstrate the concept that I'm asking him about or what.
Yeah, ask him. He will go there if he has to answer by going there. And then he'll come back into the witness stand and tell us what he just saw.
Thank you, my lord. Now, we are on Exhibit 13E, 6. We're busy trying to analyze this concept of consecutiveness as it relates to ballistic expertise or processes. Now, there are errors there that are marked. One, that is on both. We assume that the exhibit that is on the left-hand side is the scene exhibit, not so.
Sithatha ngokuthi ke la kubonakala khona kulesi sithombe kunemcibisholo u1 futhi ke sithatha ngokuthi ke isithombe singapha ngakwesokunxele isithombe ke senhlamvu eyatholaka endaweni yesigameko kanjalo.
That's correct.
Yebo unjalo.
And what is depicted on the left or on the right is a test bullet that was fired by you at the forensic science laboratory. So,
Athi ke bonala ke ngakwesokudla isithombe inhlamvu wayedubula uze uzohlola ngayo test bullet.
thank you. Now, there are errors there that are marked 1.
Kwemcibisholo lapha ebhale ukuthi number 1.
Do you see them?
Yabona le mcibisholo.
Yes, I can see it now.
Thank
Yebo
you, sir.
ngiyabona.
Now, you can proceed. Actually, this is a process that the state needed to do, but unfortunately, they didn't. So, I'm now the incumbent that is taking you through the process. Now, what are they pointing at? Those others that are marked at number 1 on both sides.
Manje mcibisholo ebhale ukuthi 1 ikhombani.
Well, they are pointing at the striations that starts from the exhibit bullet, continues on your test bullets.
Kombisa ke umugqayelo obonakala lapha kule nhlamvu yathola endaweni yesigameko ukuthi yaqhubeka itholakale futhi kule nhlamvu le eyisetshenziswa ukuthi kutestwe ngayo.
Thank you. And as you look on the screen, that will tell you that those are the highest points when you start from the bottom upward. Not so, those ones, the arrows, they are at the highest point there. Not so.
Which ones? The ones at the top.
The ones which are marked 1, they are a little bit taller than the others. A little bit taller than the one marked 2, 3.
Yabona
2
la
and 3,
ukuthi ke
yes.
le mcibisholo emakwe ukuthi 1 ingenhlana kwale mcibisholo ebhalwe ukuthi number 2 and number 3.
Or let me put it this way, they are at an elevated angle compared to those that are marked 2 and 3, not so.
Akule engele ngathi phezudlwana uma uqhathanisa nale emakwe ukuthi number le mcibisholo emakwe ukuthi number 2 and number 3.
Not so.
They are at the elevated.
Level, it means they are above those that are marked 2 and 3.
Meaning 1.
Yes, 1 on the screen, on the screen. Yes. Is that not so?
That's so.
Thank you.
Athi yebo kunjalo ukuthi mcibisholo ingenhlana kwale but number 2 and number 3.
Now, when you have identified this 1, we can assume that the line that is running from the scene bullet to the test bullet, they align at the center of the 2 bullets. In other words, that could be regarded as a match, not so.
Ngiyabonakala ukuthi khombisa imigqa efananayo kulezi inhlamvu zombili.
They align, my lord, yes.
Yes, that's a match.
Athi yebo hayi ziyafana.
When you're only speaking about 1, you cannot say it's a match when you say only 1.
No, in other words, okay.
Ngeke ukwazi ukuthi hayi ziyafanana ukuthi ubone nje owodwa.
In this regard, when I say a match, I don't mean, therefore, the conclusion is that the scene bullet matches the bullet that was, matches the test bullet. I'm saying there's a synergy there. The line goes through. It runs from the scene bullet to the test bullet. So there's a similarity there.
Athi khona ukufanana lapho ngoba lo mugqa lona usuka kule nhlamvu yathola esigamekweni udlulele kule nhlamvu le esetshenziswa ukutesta.
That's correct, man. As I said, it starts on the exhibit bullet, continues to the test.
Yes, yes.
Kanti
yes.
yebo ziyafana noba iqala lapha entabeni yombukiso iyofika lapha kule kwahlolwa ngayo.
Now, what type of a line is that? Is it a striation or what type of a line is it?
Manje hlobo lunikele umugqalo lapho uyiloko ubizwa ukuthi striation.
Yes, my lord, it's striation line.
Thank you.
Yebo ilo line ubizwa ukuthi striation.
Is it the class characteristics?
Come
Is
again?
it, is it a class characteristic? Is that a subclass characteristics or is it an individual characteristics?
Umbuzo ke lana uthi kukhona ke izigaba ezikhona ke lapha khona lo okubizwa ukuthi i-class characteristic no subclass characteristic manje ubuza ukuthi ke lo mugqa lona uyiluphi uhlobo.
My lord, that cannot be a class characteristic. And cannot be a subclass characteristic.
Cha uthi ka ukwazi ukuba i-class characteristic noma i-subclass characteristic.
Awukahle Lieutenant Colonel. I'm asking you, is that a sub? Is it a class or is it an individual? Then you answer by saying, no, that can't be a sub. That can't be a class. But the question is very simple. What is it?
It is not a class characteristic, my lord. And it's not a subclass characteristic.
Then what it is?
Wathi akuyona i-class characteristic akuyona i-subclass characteristic manje kubuza ukuthi uyini kuma kungekona lokho kubili.
My lord, it can be an individual markings, but you cannot just use it as an individual markings.
Kodwa ngenzeka ukuthi uphawu nje oluzimele kodwa ngeke ulusebenzise kanjalo.
Just a second. Yes, thank you. But in terms of the structure of comparison, is it also a counted line? Are we counting it?
That's correct, yes.
Thank you.
Wathi yabala yini kulokhu kusebenzisela athi yebo.
Thank you. Now let's go to 2. To the arrows that are marked 2 on both
Asiyele
sides.
mcibisho ke ebhalwe ukuthi number 2.
Do you see them?
Yes, I see them.
Wathi yabona yebo ngiyabona.
Thank you. Now, we can also assume that like those like that line, that striation that goes that is mark number 1. We can number 1 on both sides. We can also assume that this is the same scenario. That is the line that is from the scene exhibit marked 2 goes through to the test bullet on your right hand side, which is marked 3. In other words, it goes through. There are similarities. I don't want to use the word match again.
Masibheka ke sothi kuyafana nakuloko esibonile kulo mcibisho lokuqala ukuthi umcibisho lo wesithathu lolu phawu lelo liyadlulela kule nhlamvu le okuhlolwe ngayo kulusuka lapha kule nhlamvu le eyathola endaweni yesigameko kanjalo.
That's correct, my lord.
Thank you.
Yebo kunjalo.
Maybe just before we proceed, is this now a 2-dimension or a 3-dimensional process?
Using a microscope.
What we're seeing?
I mean, using a microscope.
Yes,
It's a 3-dimension.
3-dimensional.
Manje
Thank you.
Masibheka lapha i-2 dimension noma i-3 dimension yini kusho ukuthi ke ibonakala uma sithi 2 dimension kusho ukuthi khombisa ukuya phezulu nokuya ohlangothini kanti ke uma sikhuluma ngo-3 dimension ikhuluma ngokuthi kuya phezulu ohlangothini nokuthi ijule.
Thank you. Hi, Mr. Nkandla, that was excellent. Thank you. I think your understanding of what I've just said, or what a 3-dimension is, that was excellent. Thank you, sir. Now, that will be, according to you, that will be a second count, not so.
Ngokusho kwakho kusho ukuthi kuzobe kubalwe okwesibili la akunjani?
That's correct.
Yebo kunjani.
And according to you, that will be a consecutive count from 1. In other words, you've counted from arrow number 1, and then you're now in arrow number 2. That is 1, 2. It's a consecutive count according to you, not so.
Futhi ke indlela kubalwa ngayo ke lapho kusuke kubalwa ngendlela elandelanayo ngoba ngithi uqalwe kule yokuqala ku number 1 kwase kuyiwa kule yesibili.
That's correct.
Athi unjani?
Thank you. Now, let us look between point number 1, arrow number 1, and arrow number 2 on the exhibit on the exhibit bullet. Between the space that is between the first striation and the second striation in the same bullet. What is it that you are able to identify there?
Yini okwazi ibona masiqhathanisa uqala nombizi.
Oh, what is identifiable there?
Yini ke ekwazi ukuthi uma ibheka ibonakala.
The space between the two is equal.
Yes.
Njengaya ukuthi ke ibanga kusuka kulo mugqa oqala ukufika kulo mugqa wesibili liyalingana.
The space in your right, and what else?
Okunye
What else meaning?
What else do you see? Meaning, what else do you see there, Lieutenant Colonel?
yena okunye okubonayo lapha.
Are we referring to the other marks on the...
I'm specifically speaking about the side of the test bullet between arrow number 1 and arrow number 2.
That's why I said the space is equal. So I don't know any other thing that you are referring to.
So you don't see anything.
I don't know what you're talking about or referring to when you say anything.
Angazi ukuthi umuntu yini okunye okubonayo ngizothi uchaza ukuthi yini.
Are there no striations that you're able to pick up between arrow number 1 and arrow number 2 on the scene bullet?
Ayikho yini imigqa okwazi ukuyibona kusuka lo mcilisho lokuqala uyofika lo mcilisho lo wesibili ongaba uphawu olubonakalayo.
On exhibit bullet, yes, there are other striations that ends up there on the dividing line.
Yebo khona ke eminye imigqa eveli yophelela nje kula la kulo mugqa lo wehlukanisayo.
Where do you see them?
Where do I see them?
Remember, we're talking about the space that is between arrow number 1 and arrow number 2. We have not yet moved further. Now you are saying yes, there are other striations that go up to the point where the two bullets are meeting. Is that what you're saying?
On the same space between 1 and 2.
Yes.
Yes, I can see them there.
Athi yebo ngiyabona ukuthi khona impawu ezikhona lapha kwa number 1 no number 2.
Maybe just for practical purposes, could you, with the leave of court, of course, can you just go and point them out at the screen there?
Ngathi ngaye yini esikhombisa zona escreenini.
Yeah, I've got a ruler here. I've got a ruler. Can you please pass it over?
Are we referring to these striations here? The ones that are here.
I'm asking you, what do you see? You must tell us. You have said you're seeing striation. I'm not referring to anything. You must tell us what do you see there. I'm not referring to anything. I've only asked you, what is it that you see between the space marked arrow number 1 and number 2? Then you said you see striations. Then you went there and pointed them out. Those striations.
Yes, there are striations.
Thank you.
Athi yebo khona imigqa.
How many?
Mingaki?
There are 4 striations then.
Khona imigqa emine.
Thank you. Those 4 striations which you've just mentioned, do they go through to the test bullet? Which is on the right? Are they also visible on the test bullet which is on the right?
Yabonakala yini imigqa ku le bullet le kuthiwa test bullet engapha ngakwesokudla.
Well, they continue to the test bullets, but on that part of the test bullet, they are not visible. I just want to point out to you. If you look at the test bullet here, they are not there, but if you continue looking, there they are on this side. On this part of the bullet, they are not there. So if you look at your bullet, as I said, it's a soft bullet, it's a soft lead bullet. If it bends like this part will not have your marks. but this part will have your marks.
Okay, thank
so
you.
that bullet, because it's a soft bullet, the
Yes.
possibility of it bending a little bit so that it cannot pick up all the markings
Yes.
are very high there.
Okay.
Ngoba ke le nhlangu yenziwe ngomthofu kuyenzeka ukuthi kube khona la igobe khona bese kwenzeka ukuthi ke la lezi impawu lezi zingadluleli endaweni eyodwa kodwa ke uma siqhubekela phambili ziyabonakala lezi impawu kuyo lenhlamvu le.
Thank you, sir. Now, you had an opportunity